Hey everybody, just a few minutes, we'll let everybody join up and then we'll get going. Okay, what's up guys? I'm gonna get started here. It is Wednesday, May 27th, beautiful sunny day. And today we are going to be drawing an animal that most of us have probably seen in the flesh, maybe even pet. Um, and there are 100 million of them in the US for many, many good reasons. And that animal, before I tell you, get your markers, your colored pencils, sharpener if you got colored pencils, or crayons will work just fine. Paper, hard, flat, surface, and smiles. Let's make sure we get those today. All right. So today we will be doing a cow. Today you will have the option to do any color cow you want. If you'd like to do black spots or all brown or whatever your heart desires, I've decided to do some brown spots with some funny hair here. We'll be doing the outline first, starting with the nose and going upwards and outwards, just like usual. And hopefully, in 45 or so minutes, you all have a very handsome cow. The cow has many cool features. She's got ears, she's got little nubby horns, a fleshy nose with some black spots, big shiny eyes. I'm going to leave this here for 20-30 seconds, let you drink it in, and then we'll get started. All right, what do you say? Let's do it. So I'm going to get a nice, clean, fresh sheet of paper here. Put my backing paper back there so I do not bleed onto the next page and waste sketchbook paper. All right, let me just pin this back. All right, let's get started. As usual, I'm going to start with my black magic marker, and I am going to find the middle of the page. There it is. And I'm also going to find the middle here. There it is. All right, my first line is going to be right there, and it's just going to be a straight line. And right below that, I'm going to draw just a little bit of a arcing line underneath, just like this. And this is the nose, obviously, where I always start. The next line is going to be a curved line that comes up and hooks a little bit at the top and kind of points towards this middle line here. Maybe it's pointing towards its corresponding edge, and it looks just like this. And we'll do the same on the other side here. So we've got a very select group of artists this morning. Just a few of you on with me live today, so I might go ahead and move along a little quicker than usual. All right, so before I finish the nose and move on to another feature, I want to draw in some nostrils. These nostrils are pretty unique. They look like teardrops, but they are blowing in the wind, if you will. They are curved. Watch me and then try your own. Sort of aligned inside where this thing starts to hook around, we're just going to draw a bent teardrop. Let's do the same on the other side. A bent teardrop. And I'm going to draw the bottom of the cow's mouth in, and that looks just like this. I've done very similar lines like that before. Okay, moving upwards, we're going to make a series of lines. Oh, up the nose, on the outside of the face, we're drawing the eyes. We're going to go up to the horns, draw out some ears. But before we get to all that fun stuff, let's continue moving upwards. The next set of lines is going to be above the nose on either side. It's going to connect, but it's going to aim in. It's going to be an arc line. It looks just like this. And the other side. Okay, the next line I'm going to make are going to be the outsides of the face, so we can figure out where we're going to start working in our eyes. That is going to be just where that line connected, maybe just a little bit lower. It's going to come out and up, and then flatten off at the side. And it looks just like this. Do the same thing on the other side, of course. Oops. There we go. It's not perfect, but that's okay. All right. I'm just going to get a new black marker. This one seems to be running out of ink. Okay, so before I draw the eyes, I'm going to draw a little bit of the bottom eyelid, and it's going to connect to these lines we just made. It's going to start outside a little bit, and it's going to be an arced line that comes in and down. And it's pretty simple. It looks just like this. I'll do the same on the other side. Okay. Now the eyes are pretty easy. It's going to be kind of a circle, but instead of connecting the loop, we're going to sweep out and up, almost like an eye that includes a little eyelash at the end. Maybe watch me do it, and then you can do it yourself, okay? It looks just like this. And I want to do the same on the other side. It looks just like this. Okay. And inside the eye, just going to draw some quick reflections. And we're just going to draw a big circle and a little circle. A big circle and a little circle. And before we say these eyes are done, let's just go ahead and color in everything except those little circles we made, okay? Let's just color those right in. Fill everything right in. Leave the circles. Leave the circles, very important. You want those reflections in there. All right. There we go. Maybe use this as an opportunity to make the eyes look a little more symmetrical. Okay. Next line we're going to make is right above that, and it's going to be, I guess, sort of the upper or the brow or above the eyes. Okay, and it's a little bit of a tricky line, but I believe in you. It is going to connect underneath that little eyelash thing we made, okay? It is going to come out, up, in, up. Maybe watch me and then try it yourself. Out, up, in, up. And of course, do the same thing on the other side. Out, up, in, up. Again, not perfect, no big deal, not worried about it. So before we get into the ears and the horns, I just want to draw a couple more lines on the outside of the face. Excuse me while I just fix this, it's driving me nuts. I'm going to make a couple of lines here in the inside of the eye. Oh, how about right about here? Whoop. Both sides. Whoop. I'm going to make a line on either side of the outside of the mouth, right here and there. Lastly, I'm just going to make a couple of lines down the nose or down the front of the face here. And I'm going to give you the option. You can make these straight and smooth if you imagine your cow is going to have short, smooth, slick fur. Do a straight line. If you want your cow to be hairy and messy, you could do a zigzaggy line here. I'm going to go with smooth. And again, it's going to come on either side of the nose here. And I'm going to align it with the top of these longer arc lines I made on the top of the nose. And they're going to have a little bit of an arc to them, not too much. Okay, let's draw some ears. The ears here are very similar to the giraffe, if you've done the giraffe drawing. They are going to start right around where this line ends. Outside of it a little, it's not going to connect. It's going to come up, out, down and around and connect right above the eye. Maybe right in the middle of this brow bump there. And the ears look just like this. Up, out, around, down, and connect. And do the same on the other side. Up and out, around, across, down, and connect. All right, the shape inside the ear here is a little strange as well. I'm going to draw a line underneath. I'm going to come diving down. I'm going to swoop around at the lower part of the ear, and I'm going to come back out. I'm going to come across, swooping down, and then going back out like that. Okay, let's do the same thing on both sides. Down, swooping down, just like that. Okay, so let's get the top of the head drawn in. We can move on to color. We're going to have to do a series of lines. It's going to go left, right, left, right, left, right. Horns, top. All right, that's the plan. First line comes off the inside here, heads up, like that. The next one is an arcing line that connects, but it comes out in the opposite direction like this. It's going to be sort of where the horn meets the head. Okay. And this is going to be the base of the horn. It's going to have a little bit of a ripple in it, and it looks just like this. Do, 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 do. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Do. Whoops. Do, do. And the top of the head looks like a wavy ocean. It's got a wave, a dip, and a wave. And the horns are pretty easy. They're nubby, so we don't have to do anything extravagant for horns here. We're just going to go up and turn around and come home. Up and turn around and come home. Whoops. It's not a perfect horn, but that's okay. Okay, before we put our markers away, I just want to draw a big sideways M right in the bottom of the ear. And that's it. We are done with our marker. Let's go ahead and put our caps on so they don't dry out and move along to color. I've chosen today to do a brown and white cow, which is going to cause me to choose 3 shades of brown and a light gray and obviously black and maybe a little bit of gold to push my colors forward and also to color in the horns. So if you want to do a black cow, you could start with black and gray and do spots. If you are doing a fuzzy cow, you can go ahead and choose 3 browns or whatever colors. Stay loose. You might not be doing exactly what I'm doing, but I believe that you guys know what you're doing because I've showed you so many times how to create fur using those zigzagging lines. I'm going to do a smoother cow today with brown patches over the eyes and some in the ears, maybe a little on the chin. Some black markings on the nose. I'm going to use a flesh tone to bring the nose maybe a little bit under the eyes to life. Inside the ears will be flesh as well. Follow along with me color for color if you want, or go ahead and start freestyling yourself. Have some fun, because that's what it's all about, right, guys? So like I said, I'm doing brown patchy cow today. So I've got 3 different browns, a light brown, medium brown, and a very, very dark brown. And as usual, I'm going to start with my darkest brown first. I always try to work from dark to light. So, in starting with my dark brown, before I draw my spots in and make those types of decisions, I'm going to use my dark brown to imagine where some of the darkest areas of this drawing are going to be. I imagine them usually around the outsides here, inside the ears, and maybe there's some markings up here for some fur or funny little hairdo. So to begin, I'm going to run this dark brown right down the side of both sides of the face, Not too much, not too dark. Just getting a little bit of color in there for now. And I'm going to stop shy of the nose there. All right, just work this color down just a little bit. Not too much just yet. Okay. I'm going to put some of this in the ear. Okay. Let's do a little bit more of this maybe under the eye where there's going to be a shadow. And I imagine he's got this funny little tufty little hairdo, so I'm just going to start roughing it in a little bit. And maybe he's got like 2 tufts. And they're spinning around. All funny like. All funny like. Maybe there's a couple dark ones in there. Alright, I'm just going to put a little bit of this right in here. Under here. And where that eye kind of folds in. And maybe there's just a tiny bit of it over here. I imagine this guy's got a asymmetrical spot on his mouth. Maybe he's a little darker over here and whatever. We'll see. We'll see what happens when we get there. Before I put this away, I'm just going to add a little bit of darkness on the bottom of the horn where it meets the head. And I think that's enough dark for now. We might come back to it. We might not. Who knows? Let's find out. I'm going to move on to my second shade of brown, which is my medium brown, my second color of 3 as we move from dark to light. Now, with this color, I do something a little bit different. Before I start shading in and chasing around my dark brown that I've already put in, I'm going to make a decision of how I want my spots to look. And I've already kind of thought about this. I'm going to do both eyes. However, I'm going to make sure the spot on this side is much bigger than the spot on this side, just to create a little bit of asymmetry, give this cow a little bit of unique character, his own look, her own look, pardon me. So I'm going to very, very lightly draw, an outline of how the shape of my spot's going to look. Okay? And I'm just going to very lightly shade in the whole thing. That's okay if you go over that line. It's no big deal. And just drew that line in as a guide for myself to know where I wanted my spots to be. Or patches, I guess. These are pretty large patches. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side before I darken this in. And maybe this one's, like I said, it's going to be smaller. So maybe it comes in a little bit lower. Comes out like that. And has a little bit of a dip right there. And you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. You can do whatever your heart desires. This is just how I decided I want my cow to look. Maybe your cow has purple spots. I don't know. Okay, so now that I've got those colors roughed in, I want to go in and add a little more darkness and a little more texture in there. So now I'm kind of going to go in and chase my darker brown a little bit. Just chase it around, make it a little bit more solid. Use this color to start building some shadows underneath the eye. On the outside here, certainly. There we go. Whoop. Bang my head on the camera. There we go. Okay. Do the same thing on this side. Now add some more color and shadow under the eye, inside the eye, underneath the top of the eye, on the outside here. Alright, that's cool. Okay. So keep layering a little bit more, maybe here, make sure. Let's put some of this in the ear as well, not too much. I'm coming in with some more colors in there shortly. Okay, let's get some more of this tufty hair going here. You know, don't be too worried here. Just have fun, make some funny hair lines. Give this Miss Cow here a little bit of hair. And maybe she's going to the salon later. You get a trim. So she's got some messy hairs. All right, cool. All right, so that was my second brown, or my medium brown. I'm going to go ahead and move on to my lightest brown. My third color, as we work from dark to light, like I said, is light brown. I'm going to use this to layer over all the brown I've already done to give it more of a rich saturation. And maybe I'll start towards the outside, just to reinforce the depth of my shadows. I'm just going to sharpen this up really quick. Pardon me. I'll do the same thing in here. I'll just do over on top of the color here. We're not going to add much more outside of what we've already filled in. Saturating that color. Let's add a little bit of this on the outside or the underside of the horn. Just a little bit. And let's add a bunch of this in the hair. Remember, we've got these two little haircuts. So make sure you pay attention to both tufts. Tuftuses. I think I want some more funny hairs coming down like that. Excuse me. I'm going to do a little trick here with this. So just sharpen it up. Again, this is my lightest brown. I'm just going to do a little bit of a trick here, and that is to sort of blur, but using the hair directional technique. This line where the brown is transitioning to white, I just want to make sure that it looks like fur. So I'm just adding a little bit of a wiggle along that transition. Okay, that just helps it make it look a little bit more like fur. I'm gonna do the same thing up here. Okay, maybe a few more hairs. All right, guys, moving quite along really quickly. I like it. Lock it out. Let's get a little bit of darkness right in there. Okay. All right, the next color I'm going to grab is gray. And this is just to help out some of these white areas so that everybody knows there's a little bit of a shadow in between the white furs. So I'm just going to use this kind of in that directional technique to create some shadows. Okay, I'm just going to sharpen this up really quick. And let's run a shadow right down here. Okay, maybe there's some similar shadow on this side. Alrighty, add a little bit of this just in the bottom part of the ear. Alright, let's add some of this in the hair here. Just a little bit, not too much. We don't want to overkill any particular color. A little shadow under the horn. And maybe there's a little bit of gray under here. And maybe there's just a little bit coming in there. And let's just do a little bit of a line coming down the middle. A little bit. Now maybe it opens back up there. Just a little bit, not too much. Alright, a little bit there. Just a little bit going up that way. A little bit. Okay. right. Whew. Moving right along. I like it. Okay, next color I'm going to put in is like a peach or a flesh tone, and this is to highlight the fleshy areas of the nose, the inside of the ear. I'm going to have some black highlights kind of in the middle of my nose here, so I'm not going to color the whole thing in flesh. I'm just going to start out around the nostrils and see where things go. I'll rely on my imagination to help me out there. All right, let's put some of this in the ears. All right. And I wanted to try and just see if I could get a little bit of this in around the eyes and maybe fill in some of those scribble gaps. If you can't, don't worry about it. If you can't see the application that I'm doing, don't worry about it. It's very, very subtle. Very subtle. Basement brush. Okay, so yeah, that should do it for flesh tone. I'm gonna pack it in a little bit more on the outside here, and maybe underneath, just on that side. Okay. All right, next color I am going to employ is gold, because I'd like to fill in those horns, okay? So I have this sort of regular gold, and I am actually just gonna make a scribble line running right up the middle here. I'm not going to color in the whole thing. Leave a little bit of white on top, and maybe a little bit of white in between the gold and the brown I've already got. Let's just do it like that. And give it a little bit of texture by not quite filling it all in. Know what I mean? Okay. Pretty easy. Easy step. Maybe he's got some golden fur in here too. Just a little bit. Not too much. I don't want to overdo it. And maybe we can just put a little bit of this over the brown so that color carries through. No big deal. All right. My next color is going to be black. I'm going to color in the little patches I've imagined on my nose. I'm going to do some highlights in the hair, maybe make a little bit of fur lines along these transition areas. Put some black, maybe, yeah, I already said, in the hair. Okay, so let me get my black pencil and sharpen it up. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is add a few little lines in the ears. I'm going to add a few little lines in transition here. Not too many. Do a little bit out here for a little bit of facial structure. Maybe there's a couple more eyelashes here. Not too many. Let's get some in the hair here. Not too much. All right, next I want to put in these sort of patches I've imagined here. And I'm going to color in between the flesh tones that I've already put down here. And I'll use that technique where I do dark and then it kind of gets lighter. All right. Just carefully putting this in. I don't want to make it too confusing of a feature, but I also want it to be unique, asymmetrical, like a real cow. A little bit of a bottom lip. Color in these nostrils really, really dark. Okay. Okay, wow, we really flew through this one today. I'm just going to make a little bit of a line coming across the top of the eye. And into the bottom here. Just to create a little bit of shape in that, in the eye there. A little bit of an outline out there. All right. Well, how about that? I think we got a cow. It went so smooth and so fast. Super job, everybody. Anyway, I just want to let you guys know that today is my second to last live drawing. Summer's here and we'll spend some more time outside. Work is picking up again. It's getting a little more intense, so unfortunately I can't commit to being able to do this at 10 a.m. twice a week any longer. So I put a note on the page sort of letting you guys know what I would be doing. I'll still post a new video from time to time. I will be going live here and there, and I'll try to give everybody 24 hours notice when I'm planning to do so. Also making myself available for private scheduled drawing sessions, like if you wanted to throw a party or you got some friends on a Zoom call, or your class is bored, or maybe it's somebody you know that you think could benefit from having a live drawing session with me. I know I'm adding these extra details while I'm talking, but you can do the same if you like, or you can just listen to me jabber on. But that's what I got to do, guys. So sorry, I'm not trying to leave you guys high and dry. I'm certainly willing to draw with you by request. You just need to reach out. So you know, all that being said, I will go. My final drawing will be Monday. So spread the word. Look forward to that. It will actually be my 25th drawing, if you can believe that. So I'm going to try and think of something cool to do for our 25th drawing. I think that's a pretty astonishing number that we were able to get together. 25 times, draw 25 different animals, and have a lot of fun while doing so. So thank you guys so much for that. I really have enjoyed this a lot. So let's wrap this one up by signing our work. I am going to choose hot pink to sign my work today. All right. So again, thank you so much. If you haven't done all the drawings and you miss me so much, go ahead and do some of the drawings you haven't done. I am actually going to take the opportunity, now that I'm not going live, I'm going to try to put aside some time to do my own drawings. I know that sounds crazy, but I think it actually will be fun. So I'm going to try to do my own drawings, if you can believe that. So maybe when I do so, I'll host a watch party or something like that, and just keep an eye out. But anyway, again, thank you so much, CHRIS, that's me, for drawing along with me all these 25 drawings, nearly 25 hours worth of drawing. It's quite the feat, and I'm proud of you guys for doing it. So again, thank you so much. Have a great Wednesday. I'll see you Monday for my final drawing. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet, but I'm sure it'll be sweet. So again, have a sweet, sweet, wonderful, perfect Wednesday, the rest of your week and into the weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Be nice to your parents, and they'll be good to you. Don't forget to smile. Okay? Thank you. Bye.